Right now, if you create a folder on your desktop, like I'm going to show you some basic commands. Let's say now I'm going to create a folder on my desktop called what I'm going to name it as Java. Okay, PDP program, PDP Java, PDP underscore Java. Right now, I have just professional development program Java. And under this Java folder, I'm going to open the Java folder and I'm going to create a new folder, another folder. It's called, let's say, day one. Day one. Right. Now I have created a PDP Java folder and then I have the day one folder created inside this. Right. Now when you open the command prompt, now when you open the command prompt, now you will see it is the default prompt is C drive where you have installed the operating system and the users folder and the G1. Right now G1 is a username you have currently logged. Right now here you need to access. Now from here you need to go into this day one folder. Right now we need to access the day one folder. First of all, we need to figure out where we are. All right, let me find out. Right now, okay, not this. Right now, okay. Now this is where we are in. Now inside this is my G1's folder. Right, right. This is my G1's folder. Otherwise, inside the C users. Now this prompt says C users G1. Right now, this is where I'm in now. C users G1. Right now, this is folder I'm in. Right now, I want to go into the desktop and afterwards PDP Java. Afterwards, inside that, I need to get into the day one folder. Right, you can see inside this G1 folder, there is a folder called desktop. If you go to the desktop, inside the desktop folder, there is a folder called PDP Java. Inside the PDP Java folder, there is a folder called day one. Right now, this is how we have to go. Now we have what now? We have, this is now we have C users inside the G1 folder. We have desktop. Inside the desktop folder, we have PDP Java. Then we have day one. Right. Then we need to go into these now. Right. We have to go into this folder. Now, let me write now. This folder name is G1 folder in my case. And then here we have the, this is going to be the desktop. And this is going to be my PDP Java. You can have any name, it doesn't matter, right? PDP Java. And then I'm going to have the folder called day one. Right. Now, this is what I want to access now. Right. Now, once you open the command prompt, now by default, now see, I have closed it. Now, when you open the command prompt, you will see the command prompt appears C users G. Right. In your computer also, the default location that you can change from the Windows configurations as well. Right. Now, I want to go into the, now inside the G1 folder, there are many folders, but there's a desktop folder. Then you know to go into the desktop folder, you need to type CD desktop. CD desktop. You just type CD, that is for change directory, and type D and press the tab key. And then whatever the word starting from D will appear there. Type D and E and press the tab key, then you will get the desktop. Right. If you want, you can go one by one. You can type CD desktop. Now you can see the prompt has changed to desktop. Now you are inside the desktop. Right now you can go to CD and a PDB Java. And again you can type CD day 1. Likewise, you can go one by one folders. Now only you are inside this day 1 folder from the command prompt. If you want to go one step back, you can type CD dot dot. You can come back to this one. Or else you can type in one line as well. CD desktop PDB Java day 1. Likewise, you could write in one line. Okay, if you feel like this is difficult for you, just open the folder you want to go in, open the folder and click on the address bar. Take a copy of this path, take a copy of this path, copy, and then you can type CD and paste it. CD and paste. Then you'll be able to go into the exact folder you want to go. Right now, these are the commands that you could try. Either you could try one by one, or you could try all at once, like this, or you could copy and paste. Now, these are the options you should do in order to get into the um, exact folder. Right, okay, try out quickly. I'll give you 2 minutes for you to try, check, create some folder, check whether you can access those. Hello. Yeah, tell me, is there any issues right now? Yes, in if you are using a Mac, yes. Now you have to work with the terminal, and then yes, it will work the CD commands, but you need to provide the full path. Okay, now I think you have tried this, right? Yes, is it? Is it working? Any issues on this? In order to go here and there. Right. Now, what I want to do is now let me clear this everything. Right now, we are aware about how to use the those commands, right? And then in order to access the folders with the command prompt. Now, only purpose of learning this is just because in the few weeks we are using the command prompt in order to try this. Therefore, you need to know how to work with these disk operating systems, right? How to deal with the command prompt. Right now, okay, then we are done with this. Right now, I want to create a file, Java file. First of all, I want to try out how to write a Java program, a simple program. Now, in order to do that, let's open the, right, let's say, now open the notepad, right? You can open a notepad, empty notepad, right? Now, it's just a notepad I have opened. Any text editor, you could use it. WordPad, Notepad, or Notepad++, anything you have, you could use it. And then we just need to save it, right? Then, okay, open a Notepad. Right. Right now, even like if you can open the Notepad like this, or else if you want inside the day one folder also, if you just type now once you and the now once you're in the day one folder, there you can type Notepad. Just the Notepad will open the empty Notepad, right? But this is how you could do it, or else you could type Notepad and file name. Let's say ex.java, so test.java. Likewise, if you type the file name, like now you will see it would create a new file as ex.java file, right? It will ask whether you want to create a file, right? Likewise, you could try out. Now, I just want to open a Notepad file, and therefore I'm gonna do it like Notepad. But if you are using now, if you are using like Mac OS, if you are using a MacBook or something, right, then you need to go to the terminal, and then in the terminal, You could create folder by typing mkdir. Right now here also using let's say now inside the day one folder, if you want to type, if you want to create a folder for an example, you would type mkdir whatever, let's say test. If you want to create a folder, you could just type mkdir. Now you can see inside the day one folder, I can create a folder. And how can you can remove a folder using command as well. How to delete a folder using a command prompt. What is the command to delete a folder? Anyone? Right now, if I want to delete the folder, you could type rmdir test. And then you can see the folder get deleted. Here you can see it has been deleted now. RMD, remove directory, make directory. Like these are the commands. Like there are a few basic disk operating systems available, commands available. You could try out. Right now, for the time being, we are not here to learn disk operating systems. No. Right then, okay. Now I want to open the notepad. Let's say you have opened the notepad. Right now, let's write our Java program. Now, you need to write the Java program, right? Then how to write the Java program? Yes, you need to know the Java language. Now, we need to know the Java language. Okay. Now, we are here to learn the Java language, right? Therefore, now we have to write a program. Now, we need to instruct the processor, okay, do this. Then, in order to instruct the processor, we gonna use a language. That language we gonna call as Java. Java programming language. Then using the Java programming language, we need to write a code now. Then basics you need to know. Now we are writing the code. Then this code, we call it as a source code. We call this as the source code. Right now, what is the source code? That's a human readable, which we are typing, like we are using English language. We are writing this code with the syntaxes of Java language. Using writing in English with the help of Java language, source code, written by the programmer, human friendly, human can read, but the processor cannot read, the computer cannot understand what is it. Now this code, this program, our software, the source code, we need to make it where the computer can understand. Right now, can you tell me how can we translate or how can we convert this program, the whatever the code we have written, to a code which a computer can understand? The processor, computer says the processor can understand. How can you do that? Okay, what are the things you could use for that? Anyone, please tell me. There are some certain softwares which we can use for that purpose. What is it? Anyone, please, in order to convert the program you have written into an executable one, what we have to do?
To compile it.
Yes, there are. You can use compilers, and then you may have interpreters like that. Now, can everyone please search about what is a compiler and what is an interpreter, and what's the difference between compiler and the interpreter, and also search about high level languages and low level languages. Right. Oh, either you can ask from the chat GPT. I don't mind anyway. I want you to find out the differences between compiler and the interpreter, high level language, low level language. What are those? And the source code and the machine code, source code and the machine code. What are the differences? Okay, quickly figure out. I'll give you a few minutes. Okay, now can someone please tell me what is the source code? Source code, please. What is the source code? Yes, source code is what? Tell me.
A human readable version of a program written in a programming language.
Okay, human readable. Human readable. Yes, very good. Plus point. Human readable and written using a programming language. Right. Okay. Machine code. Machine code.
Computer readable.
Yes, that's computer readable. Yes, computer can understand what is written there, but human cannot understand what's in the machine code. Right. In order to convert source code into a machine code, we require translators or like compiler, interpreter, assembler, likewise. Right. Then tell me what is a compiler? Yes. Compiler is a software. It's a tool which convert or which translate source code to the machine code. Right. Then interpreter also does the same. Right now, what's the difference between compiler and interpreter? Anyone?
Interpreter
Yes, Pute?
interpreter translates machine codes line by line while executing, and the compiler
Interpreter translate line by line. Let me write translate line by line. Okay. Compiler.
The compiler translates whole entire machine code in before execution. Oh, sorry. Translate entire machine code into entire source code into machine code.
Entire source code into a machine code. Right. Right. Then in order to convert, right now in order to convert into a machine code, we could use compilers and interpreters, and then like in order to source code, in order to compile into the machine code, we could use either compilers or the interpreter. Compilers or interpreters. Right now, let me write this like this. In order to convert compile source code using the compiler interpreter, you could convert it to a machine code. And there's something as well that you need to understand. If someone asks, right now we have, if you have computer instructions, then using an assembler, you could convert into a binaries. Right, assembler. Right then, right now, what is the difference between compiler and the assembler and the interpreter? We'll talk. Right, yes. Right, next week also we're going to talk further on this. Right now, here when you have a source code, right? When you have the source code, then you have the source code using a compiler. Just a minute. Right, then when you have the computer instructions converted using assembler into binaries, right, that's fine. When you have the source code using a compiler, right, using a compiler, we can convert into a machine code. In Java language, right now what happens here is using the source code, when you use the compiler, Java compiler, source code using Java compiler, it convert into a bytecode. Now, what is the bytecode? We'll discuss. Right. Okay. Now, compiler. What is a compiler? Now, compiler is a program which translate. Now, compiler translate compiler translate the source code into a source code to a machine code. Source code to a machine code. Right. As a whole. Right now, in it's a, what you can say, translate source code to a machine code in one go. That means as a whole, otherwise. That means it as a whole, the compiler translates the entire program written using source code to a machine code. It happens one time, just in one go, or as a whole, it converts. The entire code gets converted to a machine code. Now, therefore, it converts the entire program. Now, remember, this converts the entire program. This converts the entire program. Therefore, it converts the entire program to a machine code. Right. Therefore, if there's an error, then if there's any single error in the line number 13, let's say we have 20 codes in the line number 13, if there's an error, then you have to fix all the errors. Therefore, you have to make sure error free. There should be no errors. And therefore, it will translate all the content in the entire program to the machine code. Entire program to a machine code. Therefore, it should be an error-free code. Is that clear? Because if there's any error, it would not convert it, translate the entire source code. Entire source code to machine code in one go. Right. In one go, we'll say source code to machine code. Translate entire source code to machine code once. Okay, that is what. Right. Therefore, now remember the entire program get converted. The entire source code converted to machine code. Then it has to be error free. Error free. Otherwise, if there's an error, then it won't get converted. Right. But then that is how the that is how the compiler works. It translates the entire code at once. If it is the interpreter, now as you said, interpreter translates the line by line. Therefore, interpreter translate the line by line. Then interpreter translates the line by line. Therefore, it converts source program into a machine code line by line. Interpreter translates line by line. That means one line at a time. That means here all the code at once, but here line by line. Interpreter translates the source code to the machine code line by line at a time. Line by line at a time. Let's say, therefore, if there's an error at the line number 10, therefore, up to line 9, it gets translated, it gets executed, and on the 10th line, it will show you the error. That's how the interpreter works. Right. Therefore, now if you want to talk about the advantages of the compiler. Now, advantage of the compiler, because why? The compiler translates all at once. Therefore, compiler translates the entire code at once. Therefore, when it comes to running, the machine code is already prepared now at the end. If it is successfully compiled, that means the machine code is generated. Therefore, you can execute that fast because it is already prepared. It's pre-prepared, what you call the machine code. Right. Therefore, it is pre-prepared. Right. Now, but when the disadvantage is since the entire program has to be error-free, even though if there's an error in the last line, the entire code will not get compiled. And it requires more memory because the entire program has to be converted at once. Therefore, and even if there's a small change, the entire program, let's say now at the last line, you do a small change, even though the entire program has to be recompiled. Every single time when you do a small change in the code, everything has to be recompiled. Therefore, those are the disadvantages. But when it comes to the interpreter, now interpreter translates line by line. Therefore, even though there's an error in line number 5, you can fix it and then you can run, because then you can fix it. And then since it takes line by line, it requires very less memory, right? And it will support you fast debugging, right? But the disadvantage is it takes time to convert, because it converts line by line on the fly. Whenever you run the program, then only it gets converts. Therefore, there's a small delay because in the compiler has already compiled, translated, but the interpreter translate line by line. Therefore, if it is a very large program, it's not that good. And then, all right, interpreter takes line by line, therefore less memory, but it takes some time compared to the pre-compiled using compiler. Therefore, the compiler converts program as a whole, and the interpreter translate line by line. Compiler translate the entire source code to machine code. Source code right now, let's say error free source code to machine code at once, and the interpreter translate the source code to machine code line by line, right? That's main difference, right? Then right, that is the main difference between compiler and the interpreter, right? Then what is the what Java uses? Right now we said basically in when you write the source code, in order to convert the source code, we need to use the compiler or the interpreter in order to convert the source code into a machine. Right now, this is what we just said. Right, then here normally source code compiled using a compiler, we can convert the machine code. But in Java compiler, when you use the Java compiler, source code compiled using Java compiler generates a byte code, and then it's not the machine code. Then what is the byte code? Then that we need to know what is the byte code. What is the byte code? Can someone please search and tell me what is the difference between a machine code and a byte code? Now Java makes the byte code. What's the difference? Here's what is the byte code. Right. Anyone can tell me what is a byte code? Now, when you use Java compiler converted the source code into a byte code. Right. Now, we know that when you use a generic compiler, the compiler converts the source code to the machine code. Right. Now, machine code. And then, when you use a Java compiler, Java creates a byte code. Right. Then, what is the machine code and what is the byte code? Right now, byte code, we could say byte code is an intermediate code. Byte code is an intermediate code. Bytecode is an intermediate code between source and the machine code. Therefore, now Java compiler makes an intermediate code between source code and the machine code. Right. Then why is it? And what it's similar to a machine code, but not the machine code. It's a bytecode. Right. Now machine code means when you convert a source code into a machine code where the computer, the processor can understand, then you call it as a machine code. Now this is directly readable by the machine. That means machine can understand the source code written in any language. Therefore, in order to do that, you have to convert that into a machine code. Right. Now machine code, that means once converted into binary language, therefore thereafter it cannot be readable by the humans. Right. Then that's the difference between source code and the machine code. Then the byte code. The byte code is, right now, bytecode is an intermediate code where the Java compiler develops. The Java compiler develops an intermediate code called a bytecode. The bytecode is similar to a like you can say similar to machine code, but not the machine code. Source code converted to a bytecode. Therefore, we can call it as a bytecode. Right now, therefore, bytecode is not the 100% machine readable and it's non-executable. Therefore, that again needs a translation. Therefore, bytecode needs a translation. Needs to translate into machine code in order to execute. Right now, this need to be translated in machine code by an interpreter. Therefore, machine right now you can see bytecode needs to translate into machine code by an interpreter. Right. Therefore, now you can see when you use Java compiler, you have to use the interpreter as well because of the bytecode. Now, why? Now, why this has happened right now? What is the reason between these? Right now, there's a problem. Right now, now if you use a compiler can directly convert the source code into machine code. But instead of doing that, in Java, we have converted it using Java compiler. It converts the source code into a bytecode, and again, bytecode needs to convert using an interpreter. Okay, may I know the reason for that? Can anyone tell me what is the reason? Anyone? Right. Previously, we had a problem. Right now, what was the problem? Right now, when you are writing a program, what are the things you expect input? Tell me. Dineth, what do you expect when you write a program? What do you expect? It should. Okay, Kishore, right. Now, yes, what do you expect? Right, when you write a program, do you want to work it on every computer where you have Java or not? What? Or only a specific computer?
It should work in all computers.
Yes, it should work in all the computers. Right now, in the previously, like I'm talking about like I think few years ago, right? We had different processor architectures, computer architectures. Then you may have learned about the computer history. No? When you learn about the history, you might have seen the different architectures, different processors, different types. Even like nowadays also we have different types. Tell me different type of computer processors. When you can purchase two types of processors currently, what are the two brands? One is Intel, the other one? You don't know the processor types?
Ryzen.
Yes, AMD. Yes, AMD processors. Yes, AMD Ryzen processors. And then you have Intel processors, and then Apple has the silicon processors. Likewise, you have different type of processor architectures, processors. Right. Then each processor then acts different, right? Due to the performance issues, the way they have been defined works on a different. Therefore, now the problem is right now when you write a Java program, let's say, now when you write a program in one computer, if that program is working only for that particular computer, then if you go to another computer, then it won't work. But in order to make this easier, I don't know whether you have this experience or not. Right. Can you remember before the Unicode were introduced, if you want to see Sinhala, let's say if you want to read the Lankadipa.lk website, like few years ago, around 7 to 10 years ago, when you try to read it, you can only see the boxes. You cannot see the text. You can see only squares. The font is not rendered. Have you seen that experience? When you open a Word file, you cannot see the text. You can see only lines, some text, some the squares or boxes, and some lines only. You cannot see the font. Have you experienced that? If it is not, okay, right. You might have not. Now, the reason is, even previously, we had to use fonts. A font. Have you installed fonts to your computer? Even not. Right. Nowadays, because everything is Unicode supported, no, that's why you have not the experience. Okay. Okay, let me tell you. When we were kids, right? When we were not, when I was a kid, all right. Then, like when I have to type documents, like let's say when I was at, let's say when I'm doing A levels, right? Then if I have to type, or after A levels, right? If I have to type a document, right? When the Microsoft Word was there, and then even using Word, if you want to type something, we need to download the specific font. Like now, there are different font styles, font types comes pre-installed in our computer with the operating system. But like if you want to have different fonts, you need to install font. Therefore, you have to download it, or you have to take it from somewhere, and then you have to install it. Then once you put that font only, you will be able to type using that font. By changing the font type and font style, you could do it. But if you take that Word file after typing and finishing it, and if you take it to the other computer, and if you open it, and if that computer does not have the particular font, you will not be able to see it. You will not be able to read it. You will see some other symbols or some other characters, and you won't see it. You cannot read it because that particular font is not there to render it as the way it configured. Therefore, what I had to do was, if I have to take, let's say I did not have a printer by that time. Therefore, if I want to take a printout, then I had to take the Word file along with the font. I need to take the font file and the Word file, and then I have to go to the whatever the other computer and install the font I want. If it's a custom font, and then I need to open the file, then only I could take a printout. Because otherwise that is not readable. That's what happened at the beginning of the Sinhala fonts were introduced. Right now, that's why still the University of Colombo has Unicode converter, where you type in English letters and it will give you in the Sinhala letters, likewise you might be using it, right? And then the fonts were whatever the message, even like now only you can see the messages using in your mobile phone. In Sinhala language, you can see only now. But previously, if someone sent a Sinhala, whatever the message using Sinhala font, we might see in boxes. We cannot read it because that is not supported in our phone. And then they have introduced Unicode, Universal Character Encoding System. Then with respect to the Unicode, there every symbol is mapped into a code word, and then now that's why we can work with Sinhala language, Tamil language, and whatever the languages are used in this world because of the Unicode. Likewise, previously, when it comes to programming languages, the different processors has different architectures, and therefore the one processor requirement may be different from other processor. Then the codes written will work only on particular computer. If you have then that means each processor you need to have different instructions as well. Therefore, we need to have a different instructions to be written in different processors. Now thereafter, with the help of internet and with the term global world and everything, right now there was a demand, there was a requirement. When you write a program, that program has to work on the other computers without doing any changes. Because if you write the program and if you give it to someone, if that program needs to be reconfigured according to that particular computer, that's going to be a headache, right? You write it and you give it to someone, and then again you have to go there and you have to change the code according to that computer requirement. Then you have to do it again and again. Therefore, that's very difficult task. Because then, therefore, what happened was Java has came with a solution called Java Virtual Machine. Right now, can you quickly search and tell me what do you mean by a virtual machine or virtual computer? Right now, those who were at the university, right, those who started the first year, second year already, they might have used the virtual machines. Tell me why you have used the virtual machine or what is a virtual machine? Quickly tell me. What is a virtual machine? Has any of you have installed virtual computer? Tell me why you have used it, the reason for that.
Yes, sir.
Yes, why?
Yeah. So in campus, we have done. We have to.
Linux.
Yeah. No.
Yes, in at your
use,
university.
Flutter to develop an app. We have to have a virtual emulator to.
When you're using Flutter, right? Okay. Now, let me tell you the very simple thing, right? Let's say now you have a Windows computer, right? And you just purchased it, right? Under the warranty, and then and you just went to the university, and then your father bought you a laptop, and then the very first day when you go to the university, and then there's a subject called, let's say, computer programming or something, and then when you go there, you see that okay, they are doing it using Linux. Right, my goodness, now they are teaching Linux, but you have a Windows computer. Right, then Windows operating system. But then it's under the warranty, and then you have genuine, like since you bought the computer, you have the genuine operating system, and so on. And then you don't want to have the dual boot system. You don't want to change the dual boot because you might think that okay, my operating system might get crashed. And then, but anyway, you want to practice daily what you are practicing at the school, what at the campus lab. Then you have a problem now. But how can I practice Linux in my computer? Then what's the solution to it? Anyone? What was the solution? Now you have a Windows computer, but the practicals were done using, let's say, Red Hat operating system, and then you want to practice Red Hat, but unfortunately your computer is a Windows computer. Therefore, what can you do?
We can download virtual machine like Oracle VM or something like that.
Yes, exactly. Now you don't want to take a risk of changing your operating system. Therefore, what you do is there are virtual, like what is the Oracle virtual Box, right? I can't remember exactly. What is it?
Oracle VirtualBox.
Yes, we have Oracle Virtual Machine, Oracle VirtualBox. Right now, you can see Oracle Virtual Machine, Oracle VirtualBox. Right, then you have another software called VMware, Virtual Machine, VMware. You can see VMware, right? Likewise, there are different values you have. Right now, when you're using Oracle VirtualBox, right now you can see now Oracle VirtualBox is allow you to virtualize another operating system. Therefore, like in your computer, on top of your Windows operating system, you install this VirtualBox software. And using this VirtualBox, you can install another operating system into your computer. Then this acts as a virtual machine. Now this acts as a virtual machine. Therefore, if you search for virtual machine, what is a virtual machine? You can say a virtual machine is a virtualization or emulation of a computer system. Virtual machines are based on computer architectures and provide the functionality of a physical computer. Now, this is in simple terms, you can say virtual machine is a software only subcomputer. In your computer, you install a software. In that software, you install another operating system. Therefore, then in your on top of your operating system, you can run another software, another operating system. Then a software only subcomputer. Software only subcomputer. That is how you could achieve that particular task. Right. Then virtual machines were you can use in that scenario, you can use virtual machines. Now we were talking about Java, right? In Java, there was a problem like that means processor to processor, different syntaxes, different scenarios, different instructions. There are a lot of issues. Like whatever the code I write, I can't share it someone else because that code need to be adjusted according to that processor requirements. Therefore, Java came up with a solution for installing Java Virtual Machine. Java Virtual Machine. Or instead of that, we call it as a JVM. Right, that is what we did today. Today, we downloaded JDK. Right, what we did? We installed Java Virtual Machine for our computer. Right now, we have installed Java Virtual Machine. Right now, we have installed Java Virtual Machine. Right, every one of us have many different operating systems, maybe Windows, maybe Linux, maybe Mac OS. You have different operating systems you have. But now, once you install, now when you download, you had the option. What are the options? Java for Windows, Java for Linux, Java for Mac. Like you have different operating systems. And you would have downloaded according to which matches to your computer. Right? If it is for Windows, if it is for Mac, if it is for Linux, you downloaded what is the particular file and then you have installed it now. Now that means what? Now every one of us, our computers, we have installed JVM, Java Virtual Machine. Therefore now, whatever the code written using Java can run on any computer we have now. Because why? We have installed JVM. Now, since Java Virtual Machine has been now installed in our computer, what happens is now when you use the source code compiled by the Java compiler, now it compiles according to the JVM. Now, the source code compiled by the Java compiler according to the Java Virtual Machine. Now, therefore, remember, source code compiled according to the Java Virtual Machine. And now we have installed Java Virtual Machines in our computers. Therefore, everyone has the Java Virtual Machine. Therefore, why? Now we have the bytecode which is compatible for Java Virtual Machine. Bytecode is compatible for Java Virtual Machine. Then everywhere when you have downloaded Java Virtual Machine, when you have installed Java Virtual Machine, that means that can run this particular bytecode. Therefore, you don't have to compile again. The code compiled in my computer can run on your computer without compiling again. Why? The code compiled according to Java Virtual Machine's requirements. Then Java Virtual Machine is a virtual machine which is installed on wherever you have Java installed. Right, then we have JVM. Java virtual machine installed in our computer. Right now, we know that now every computer now we have a virtual computer running Java virtual machine, which converts the bytecode to the machine language using the interpreter. Now, in top of this, right now, this is how we have. Right now, let me draw this. What we have here. Right now, in your computer, let's say if it is a Windows operating system, if it is Windows, if it is Linux, now if it is Mac, right? Even though you have Windows, and then if it is the Linux, if it is Mac, it doesn't matter now. Whatever the operating system you are using now, and now on top of this, we have installed Java virtual machine. Now JVM installed. Right, therefore now on top of Windows computer right now. Now even though if it is a Windows computer, now we have installed JVM. If it is a Linux, we have installed JVM. If it is a Mac, we have installed JVM. Right now we have compiled using any computer, whatever we are using, a file which is compatible for Java virtual machine. Right now, Java virtual machine now works on, like, in simple terms, you can say you have the architecture like this. You have the operating system. Now you have the operating system, let's say hardware. Right now, this is the hardware layer you have, whatever the computer hardware. And then this is the host operating system. Now, operating system, on top of the operating system, we have Java virtual machine. Now, our application runs on Java virtual machine. Right now, each computer, we have the hardware layer, right? And then the operating system. And on top of the operating system, we have installed Java virtual machine. Now, then whatever the application now we are running, we could right now compile according to the Java virtual machine. The source code compiled according to the Java virtual machine. Therefore, whatever the program we have written using the Java language can be run on any computer wherever you have installed Java, because we have JVM. Then the source code compiled according to the JVM. That's what we have the bytecode. Now the bytecode is an intermediate code, we said, in between machine code and the source code. And the bytecode is run on Java virtual machine. Bytecode can run on the Java virtual machine. Therefore, Java virtual machine is the engine which converts the bytecode into a machine language. Now, bytecode run on the JVM. JVM communicate with the operating system, and operating system communicate with the hardware system, and then it will run. Now, that is how it works on the every computer, right? Therefore, now let me clear this. Right, well, so notepad. Yeah. Right now, Java virtual machine, therefore now using the interpreter, right now the codes we have written get converted to a machine code, and then it get run. You can run it. That's how you can execute. Is that clear? Up to now, is it clear? If it is not, please ask. Right. I hope that is clear. Now let's see. Now first, how to write a Java code, and then how to compile it into a bytecode, and what is the bytecode, and how to interpret it. That's what we're going to see. Right. Now open the notepad. Okay. Now we have to write a Java code. Right now, okay, if you can't understand what I have explained so far, you can just forget it because next week again we're gonna discuss. And if you just try to search the basics what we have discussed, and then if you can understand further, try to do it. Anyway, I'm gonna explain this again on the next week as well. Right, Java syntax. Now, when you're using a Java code, now there are rules to follow now. Now, you know that when you're using a even English, there are some rules, right? Now, in singular language, there are some rules, right? To follow. Right. Likewise, in Java, there are some syntaxes. You have to follow some rules. Everything in Java comes inside a Java class. Everything is inside a Java class. Therefore, we need to declare a Java class. Now, please declare it with me. Class is a lowercase CLAS. Not capital, simple, right? Java class. Then you need to define class. And then this is a keyword. This is a keyword, right? Therefore, this is defined by Java. You have to use Java, the class keyword. And thereafter, now class, you have to type the class name. Okay, I'm going to type test. Class test. Remember, when you're using the class name, you can have any name here, but make sure you start with a capital letter, okay? As a habit, start with a capital letter. And no spaces, only one word. You can't have spaces in the class name, only one word. Right. Thereafter, now we have declared the Java class. Now we need to define the scope. Now I said there were some people in this class that they have done Python. In Python, you don't have brackets, right? But in Java, in order to define the scope of this program, okay, from where to where the class is there, we need to define the scope. For that, we use the curly brackets. Remember, curly bracket. Now we can type class test and then we start the brackets. Now that means we said, okay, the class is starting from here and it goes up to this point. We use the curly brackets. Okay, inside the Java class now, you can have anything. That means anything in the sense, only two things you can have. Can anyone tell me what are the two things you can have inside the Java class? What are the things you can have inside the Java class?
Methods.
Methods and methods, correct? What else? There were some, those who have installed Java already, and there were some, those who have already completed Java at the university level, then they should talk. Yes, methods and the variables. Yes, you can have the methods and the variables. Here you can have only methods and the variable. And what is the method? What is the variable? Yes, we will discuss in the coming class. Right. For the time being, I'm going to declare a special method. That method we call as a main method. Therefore, if you are declaring a main method, this is a must. You have to follow this. we need to declare, okay, this is a public method. What is a public? Let's discuss further. Public. What is static? Further. Another day. What is void? Another day. Public, static, void. Main is the method name. Main. And here we need to pass some, declare some parameters. String. Array. Call args. Right now, this is a must. You need to type these. It is a must if you want to declare the main method. And again, we need to specify the brackets. Right, shall I use the bracket here? Then it's easier. And here also. Right, now you can see here we have opened the class. We have closed the bracket here. We have opened the main method and we have closed the bracket here. If it is for you to difficult to figure out the brackets opening and close points, please put it like this. Right, now this is our inside our class. We have declared a method. Public, static, void, main. Simple letters, all simple. And inside the round brackets, string, capital S, string. Open and close the square brackets, space, args. Now this is an array declaration. We will discuss later. Just don't worry about these at all. Right? And then let's write. Now we need to display hello world. That's the first thing we're gonna print to the console. Capital S system dot out dot println. Okay, system dot out dot print. System dot out dot print. And inside the curly brackets, inside the double quotation, we need to say hello world. Inside the round brackets, we're going to pass as a string value, one text value. That's why we put double quotes in the beginning and at the end in order to mention this is the one text. Because we put starting and at the end we put the double quotes in order to mention this is a one string value, one text. And then we need to, at the end of each statement in Java, we need to put the semicolon. End of each statement, you have to put the semicolon. Okay, quickly type this. Right, now I think you have typed up to this point. Now, right, now we have done this. Now we have to save this. Now inside our folder, if you can remember, we have created a folder called PDB Java. In our desktop, inside that I have created a folder called day one. Then I'm going to save this inside the day one folder, right? For that, you need to go to click file and then save, because we haven't saved. We just open a notepad, empty notepad, and then we just type this, right? And then we need to save this. Therefore, click save, right? Then it will ask where to save. Therefore, now select the folder. I'm going to select PDB Java, and then inside the folder day one, right? This is where I'm going to save this now. Now, what is the file type I want to save? Right now, this should be a Java file. Therefore, save it as test.java. Test.java. If you are typing test.java, select save as type as all. Save as type as the all files. All files. Select save as type as all files. Type test.java, all files. Right? File, click on file, click on save. And once you get this save window, select the location where you want to save. And then type test.java and select the save as type as all files. Even if you feel like doing this, selecting the save as type is more difficult for you, inside the double quotes, type test.java. Inside the double quotes, type test.java. Inside the double quotes, type test.java and save. If you do not use the double quotes, type file name.java and save as type as all files. If you don't want to do that, no worries. Inside the double quotes, type the file name with the extension .java and click save. Now, once you save it, you will see inside your day one folder, there will be a file appeared called test.java. Its a type is Java source file. It should not be a text document. It should be a Java source file. Right now, we are done with this saving the file. Right now, it's a matter of opening the command prompt. Now, in the command prompt, we are already inside the day one folder. Right now, okay, quickly save up to this point. Right, now open the command prompt and then go into the particular folder. And now open the Java compiler, then Java Z. Now we're going to convert this into a bytecode. Right now, let me change a small change in my code. Right now, this will give me an error. Like, let's see whether it will give me an error. Right, Java C, and the file name is test.java, and press enter. Now, since it will check the entire code, since the compiler, you can remember, if it is the compiler, it will check the entire code at once. Even though if there's a small error, that would give me the error. Okay, now it says package system does not exist. There's nothing called system. Right. Let me remove the semicolon and put capital S and save it. Right, another error I have made it now. Now again, it will show me that in line number 5, there's an error. In line number 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In line number 5, there's an error. Semicolon expected. Here, it highlights as well, semicolon expected. Right, that means here, semicolon has to be there. Right. Right, sometimes we may put instead of simple M, capital M, right? Right now, when I run this, okay, now even it will get compiled because it assume that that is a different method, and then it will get compiled. Now you can see the bytecode get generated as a class file. Now this is a bytecode test.class. Test.class is the bytecode. Now when I try to run this test.class, I'm going to write Java and the file name. It says what? Main method is not available in the class test. Therefore, define the main method in this format because that cannot run. Because if it is the main, if you use the main method, only main method can start the Java execution. Since main method can start the Java execution, you need to declare the main method as accordingly, exactly this way. Public static void main msimple. Remember that. Okay. If there is no issues, if you have made the code correctly, what you have to do is you need to type java c file name.java. Right. Then it gets compiled and it generates the class bytecode. Right. Now it generates the bytecode. Now even there's a small change. Now what I have to do? Even if I have a small change, I have to update I have to recompile. See, I have to recompile. And then I can run this. In order to run Java space file name dot class without the class extension. Now this is the bytecode or the class file name. Java space class file name without dot class extension. You will see this is how you get the output. Now, even there's a way of doing this without compiling, that means without generating the bytecode. You could do this Java space test.java. By typing Java space test.java, you could get the output without generating the bytecode. Okay, try out whether it works.
Hello, sir. It shows something like the system cannot find the path specific. Like,
Sorry, system cannot find the path specific. Okay, can you share
Yeah.
the screen? Then I can help you on this.
yeah, sure. Sir.
Right now, in your case, okay, first you need to make sure where you have stored the file. Okay, where you have the pdp.jar folder.
Yeah, in the desktop.
That's what I have said. Now see the previously. Okay. Now type cd
Okay.
space desktop slash the other slash backward slash.
My key is
ඒක
not-
තියෙන පුතේ shift එකට එහා පැත්ත.
නෑ මයික කී එක වැඩ කරන්නේ නැහැ සර්.
right එහෙම. එහෙනම් desktop එක enter කරන්න හරයි. enter කරන්න. නෑ නෑ. හරි ගන්න. ආපහු ගන්න cd pdb java space pdb.java. tab එක බලන්න tab key එක. press tab key. You don't have to type all the things. Right. Okay, P අකුර ගහලා then press the tab key. Tab. Enter. Now, okay, again press the tab key. Okay, then type cd, delete it.
Sorry.
Delete. Remove it.
Okay.
Okay, type cd space, press the tab key. Okay, enter. Okay, now type, now again press the tab key and see what's inside there. Okay, you have text file. Now we can't see. You have saved it as a text file. First of all, open the notepad. Okay, now you have shared only the command prompt. Therefore, we cannot see the notepad. Therefore, first you have to go to the share screen.
Okay.
I will stop sharing.
Okay.
Again, go to share screen and select the screen. Everyone, remember this. Listen to me very carefully. When you are sharing the screen, click on the share screen. Select share screen. Right? That means we should get this view. Then only we can see all the things at once. Right? Okay. Now, Pute. Right. Now, others, I want you to help me on this. Okay. Right. Now, the first thing, go to the notepad. Okay, notepad click. First thing is what I said that when you are writing the class, okay, what? Ek notepad close කරන්න දෙකක් තියෙනවානේ. තුනක් තියෙනවා. හරි. One thing, you need to type the class name as a capital, start with a capital word. Therefore, test කියන එකේ capital T දාන්න නැත්නම් ඉස්සෙල්ලා. Right. That should be a habit. Then again, I said public static void main. No capital letters. No capital letters. No capital. No. Only simple letters. Ethada public කියන එක P. Right. It should be simple public. Right. And then string has to be a capital S string. Right. And then the bracket. පුතේ දැන් අපි දන්නේ නැහැ මේ bracket එක කොහෙද පටන් ගත්තේ කියලා. We'll have the indentation. Right. Now what you have to do is go to the class test. First line. Okay. Remove the bracket. Remove the spaces. Press enter. Now put the bracket. Open a curly bracket. Right. Okay. Go to the third line, fourth line. Before the bracket. Leave one backspace. One more. Right. Okay. Go to the next line. Beginning. Right. Press the tab key. Tab. Another one. Tab key. There's space. Good. Tab key. Press the tab. All right. Good. Okay. Go to the next line. Okay. Press the delete button. Okay. Now one more delete. All right. Align it to the right. Now you can clearly see. Okay, which you have opened, which you have closed. Right. Okay. Click file. Save as. Yes. Save. Therefore save as. Okay. Select that and delete it first. Or file select delete can. Right click delete can. Right click delete. Right. Now type file. Okay. Put a path save as in window. File name balaga. Right. Then you have. Okay. Now you have the class name as test. Right. Okay. Now right. Type. Let me show you. Okay. Anyway, type test. Capital T E S T. Capital T. Class names always make sure you start with a capital letter. Right. Test. E-S-T. Test. T-E-S-T-S-T.java. If you are writing like this today, you have to make sure you have select the save as type as all files. Okay. Drop down click text files. All right. You have to select all files. If you don't want to do this, remember, if you don't want to do this, right, make it as a text file, text document කියලා කියනවා. alright එතකොට මුලට යන්න test කියලා තියෙන දැන් උඩ type කරලා තියෙන file name එකේ මුලට ගිහිල්ලා double quotes shift එකත් එක්ක right test.java again double quotes. Right. If you put the double quotes, then it doesn't matter whatever the type you have mentioned there, it will save as according to the type. But if you have not put the double quotes, then you need to select the save as type as all files. Then select save. දැන් ඕනේ අපිට ඇයි අපි එහෙම කරලා තියෙන්නේ? ඉස්සෙල්ලා එහෙම double quotes දැම්මේ නැත්නම් අපිට වෙනවා all files කියලා select කරන්න. දැන් ඕක මකන්නකෝ text backspace ඔබාගෙන. දැන් බලන්න tab key එක ඔබලා මොනවද තියෙන ෆයිල් එකේ නම කියලා. right. නැත්තම් ඔතන ගහන්නකො ඕක මගලා dir කියලා ගහන්න. If you want to see what's inside there, type dir and press enter. Then you can see there's only one file which is test.java, which is only one file test.java. Right, test.java, one file. Right now, type java c. ඕන folder එක open කරලා බලන්න එක file එකයි තියෙන්නේ දැන් මේ වෙලාවේ. බලන්න folder එක open කරලා. No. Open the folder and see. File explorer එකෙන් open කරන්න. කොහෙද තියෙන්නේ ඒක? pdb java. Okay, open කරන්න. You can only see one file, no? Right. Leave it aside and go to the command prompt. And now type java c space file name. What is the file name? test.java නේද පුතේ ෆයිල් එකේ නම.
text.
capital simple link එහෙම නෑ ඉන්නේ. කොහොම කම්මැලි නම් tab key එක බලන්න. එතකොට ඉතුරු ටික එනවා දෙයින් එකේ. බලන්න ඔය ටික මගලා tab එක බලන්න. නෑ Java C ගහලා ඉන්න. Java C space press the tab key. Then press enter. Now go to the file explorer and see whether what's the file. Is there only single file or two files are there? Now you can see there will be two files. One is the class file. Now notepad එකට යන්නකෝ. තව notepad එක right click කරලා open කරන්නකෝ උතන. Right click කරලා notepad open කර. නැත්නම් file new යන්නකෝ. ඔහොම නෙමෙයි අකමැති. කරලා දැක්කම බෑ. right. ඕක open කරන්නකෝ. ඕකට ඇදලා දාන්න අර මේ file explorer එකට ගිහිල්ලා go to the file explorer and class file එක ඇදලා දාන්න ඕකට උඩට. නිකන් drag කරලා දාන්න. You can see it is not a full readable. That's the class file. That's the bytecode. Because you can see that is converted one from the source file. It converted to this bytecode. Therefore, this is not the human readable one, and this is not the machine code. This is the intermediate code. Right. Now close it. We don't need it. Right now, now we have the bytecode generated for us. Now let's feed it into JVM. Java space bytecode name. That is what test.class. I type kind of tab key again. Right. Without the dot class, remove the class with the dot. Remove backspace. Right. Dot remove the dot. Press enter. Now this is how you get the output. Is that clear?
Yeah, sir. Thank you, sir.
Now CLS can.
CLS.
Yes. Now close the command prompt. Close the command prompt. Close it from the close button. Close it. Right. Open the command prompt again. Right. Now, can you remember how to go to the PDB folder?
Yeah.
Type CD space. If you can't remember, press the tab key. Then tab key the only problem is if you have many folders, many files, it will start from the first and it will go up to the last one. Then if there are 100 files, you have to press 100 times tab key. If you know the folder name which it's going to start with, type that letter. type the first few letters and press the type key. Then you can easily get it. Then desktop, you want to go into desktop, no? Then press the type key. All right. Again, press the type key. But you have to have backslash. Now you can't have the backslash, no?
Yeah.
Then you can't do it. Then you have to press enter and do it. දැන් බෑනේ පුතේ ඒක enter එකක් ඇවිල්ලානේ තියෙන prompt එක ඉස්සරහට ඇවිල්ලානේ. See? අර arrow head එකක්
එතකොට
තියෙන.
back යන්නේ කොහොමද sir?
දැන් ඕක අලුත් දැන් පුතේ ඒක enter වෙලා ඉවරයි. අර පේනවද prompt එක ඇවිල්ලා තියෙන arrow head එක?
හරි.
desktop එකට ඉස්සරහින් arrow head එකක් ඇවිල්ලානේ. Now it has been already entered. cd space desktop space again, space at it, right? Backslash. Again, press the tab key. Again, in the desktop, you may have tab bigger. Then come on over there. Okay. A cd. You know that the next folder name starts from P, right? Therefore, space P. And the tab key. PDP ne wage then folder එක නම.
Oh.
Then නිකන් tab එක ඔබාගෙන ගියොත් if you have 1000 files, 1000 times you have to do this until you get the P. ඔක ඔබ යන්න වෙනවා P එකට. ඒකද P අකුර ඔබලා PP PDP කියලා නේද හැදෙන්නේ. Then ආපහු backspace. Sorry, not backspace, backslash and again tab key. Day 1, press enter. Now you are in the day 1 folder. Now compile it. Compile the file. Java C.
No.
Space. What? Java C space file name dot java. File name dot java. මොකද file name එක?
PDP.
නෑනේ පුතේ Java file එක. Java class එක නෙමෙයි.
Test.
Test.java.
Test.java.
Java C space file name dot java. If there is no errors, it gets compiled. Once it compiled, it will generate the class file. In order to run this, Java space class file name without dot class extension. මොකද්ද class file එකේ නම?
Test class.
Yes, right. Right. Okay, that's how you get your right. Okay, thank you. Is that clear now?
Yes, sir.
Right, good. Okay, let me show this little quickly. Right now, remember, now I'm going to do a small change today. Now I'm going to have file name is test.java. I'm going to have first, I'm going to name my class name as first. Right? Now my class name is first. And I have test.java. Right? Now class name is first. Class first. File name is test. If I compile this right now, see this. When I compile this, Java C file name dot Java, Java C file name is test.java. It get compiled and then it will create the class file. Now according to this class declared. Now here the class is first. Therefore here you can see it will be first.class. Whatever the class you have declared, it will generate the class name according to the class you declared in the your source code. Then if you want to run this, what should I type? Java. Is it Java test or Java first? Anyone?
First.
Java first, because I need to type the class name without the dot class extension. This is how you do it. Okay, is there any other errors? If someone else is facing any error, please let me know. Okay, I will send you the code. I will send you the code via chat because I want you to practice this when you come in the next day, right? You make sure you practice it and come because next day we're going to start. We have not started yet, right? We have not started yet. Next week, we're going to start. Right now, this is how I compile. Java c.test.java. Java c test.java to compile in order to run this Java class name without the class extension. Right. Any questions you can ask now, please. Anyone, if you are having questions, please ask. Okay, then if you have no questions, okay, thank you very much. Then once the recording is available, I will upload and I will share in the WhatsApp group. And if you have any questions, you have to ask from me. You can post it to the WhatsApp group or you can call me. And then if it is a free time, I will answer most probably. Otherwise, just text me. Right, any questions, please contact me. Right, all the recordings will be uploaded and shared the link. Yes, any questions you can ask now. That's it. Right, then thank you very much. We'll wind up for today then. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Bye. Please
Thank you, sir.
practice.
Thank you, sir.